Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at FTM. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Okay, so let's get into this fun stuff here. So for as long as we hold this white box area of this 35 cent at the lower range, I am still looking for that potential for us to have a move up for this fifth wave. Looking to potentially move up towards this 94.53 to the 74.90. So um, we can argue a few things. We can say that this fourth wave is still in play. Now, there's a couple of things I'm keeping an eye on within this structure. We can potentially count this move to the downside as a five-wave move. So within that, what we would be looking for is basically an additional five-wave move, looking for a move like this in an ABC pattern to the downside and looking for it to be something like this. So we talked about this in the previous video. What we could argue though as well is that this B wave might still be in play. So if we are still looking for this B wave to be playing out, there's a couple of things I'm keeping an eye on. Depending on how we react off of this move here, it is possible that this B wave is still in play and we have another move to the upside, looking for this as an ABC, something like this for this basically looking for this to play out as far down as it's come. We would look at it potentially as a flat correction. And what we'd be looking for would be looking to actually move up towards this 1-to-1 area, potentially to be the 61.58. So keep an eye out for this. If we do get a move to the upside here, a bigger move to the upside, we could be looking for this 1-to-1, which comes out at the 61.58. So potentially we could set a double top with this. We can see that we've had some previous rejections in this zone as well. So that could be a key area if we do move back up into this zone. However, it is also possible, we could just be within the C wave though. The way we're currently progressing to the downside, it is very overlappy and chopping. So, we just need to be a little bit careful within that. Unfortunately, to try and count it as a diagonal is very hard unless we argue that we complete it into here, where this becomes a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. The problem with that is that this fourth wave then doesn't meet the criteria. So I'm not really in a rush to count it as a five-wave move down in that sense. It is possible we could be getting some extension, so we're going to go over that within the video as well. And then this could actually be looking to push down lower. If we do push down lower, what I'd be looking for potentially would be this 34.20 at a 1-to-1, or alternatively, like I said, that 50% would be this 3506. We wouldn't want to come too far below that. The 0.382 would be this 40.59. Some other key interesting areas would be this 36 cent range up here, in line with the previous fourth wave within the structure. So this could be a key zone as well. So keep an eye on that. We could move down into that lower range here of this box, and then still look for that potential to move to the upside. If we start to break down too deep below this 3506, it becomes less likely we're looking for this move to the upside as we have it. And then we'd have to be very careful because we were talking about the possibility of looking for a fourth wave to complete in this zone, and looking for that possibility to actually still have a fifth wave to the downside. So we need to keep an eye on this. We are getting a rejection off of the center line of the channel, so we could actually look to complete another move to the downside here. At the moment, we don't have good impulsive structure, but it's something worth keeping an eye out. If we do start to break down deeper, then potentially we can start looking at this move over here as a 1, this is a 2, and then potentially looking for a bigger five-wave structure to the downside, though we don't have that for confirmation. So um, what we were saying as well previously is, depending on how we want to count this move, we could argue that this could complete here as a fourth. I don't really like that idea. It doesn't really fit the count, but if we do start to break back above this high, it could be potentially that we've actually completed down here and we're looking for that fifth wave already. So with that in mind, what we were talking about in the previous video would be looking for the possibility that we could actually be looking to break up. And let me turn it on there. We're counting this basically as a five-wave structure where we've got some extension here in the third wave. what we'd be looking for is then we would actually looking for this higher range of the 786. So we've come down a bit deeper than we normally would. So this is why I'm a little bit skeptical about calling this a wave two, though really it hasn't invalidated that by it only really invalidates that possibility by moving past this 4110. If we do move past that, effectively we can't count this as a potential five-wave structure here. What we'd then have to be looking for is either this would be a completed connector wave over here, and then this would be our C wave, or alternatively, we could be setting up for something like flat, where we actually come, take this low, and then have a five-wave move to the upside, and then that would all still be within potentially a B wave, and then still looking for that downside at a later date. So the idea here is, if we do lose this fourth wave range, potentially we could be looking to travel back towards this 3281 to this 2211 zone. So if we do continue to break down here, this will be a key area to hold if we want to be bullish, where we are looking for this potentially as the start of a move where this becomes a 1-2, and then we look to push to the upside. Though currently, I wouldn't like counting this as a five-wave structure just because of the fact that we haven't really had a significant move the same as this one here. So that's why I'm looking at this potentially still as a fourth. Within this, we could also still develop something like a triangle. So that's also something we need to keep an eye on. But what I'm currently looking at within this structure is, if we manage to keep this low, we can argue that we're starting to get some five-wave structure up here. We need to be careful because within this, as with a lot of the coins, this previous move here is a little bit suspicious. So I'm just on the lookout for the fact we could have something like a flat developing here, where we have this is a three, this is a three, and then we get a five-wave structure here, potentially breaking. It depends. It could fall short of this A wave high, and then this would be a not a truncation, but a running flat, and then the alternative is we actually look to break up above and sort of target out this higher range here. So we'll talk about that a bit more in a second, but basically that 48.53 to this 46.97 would be the typical area would look as a flat off of this B wave low. So if we're looking at this as a A wave up, this is a B, and then looking for the C wave to the upside. So that could be a zone we actually end up falling into, looking at it as a flat. So if we do get a flat here, it would indicate that this is a completely corrective move here. And it would either mean that we have a connector in this move where this becomes a W, X, Y, potentially an X, and another Z wave to the downside. In which case, we could be looking for those lower targets still. Depends how we want to count this. It does leave a little bit up to interpretation. If we look at this high, 1-to-1 would actually, of that W wave, would actually take us to 39.69. So interesting zones to keep an eye on if we do push down. If we do push down a bit lower, we could argue we might target this 1-2-3-6, 1-3-8-2, and really at a maximum this 1-6-1-8. Like I said, if we do drop down lower here, I'd be quite interested to see how we react on this 36-cent range, and then see if we do get a move away from it there. So now just talking about this bullish standpoint, if we want to say that this low is in for the wave two, the way that we would be looking at it is like this. We would be looking at this potentially as a completed five-wave move already. One, two. It's possible it could have one more leg up here where this becomes 1, 2. This is all 3, 4, and then we get a fifth wave up. However, it is also possible you could just count it completed where we look at this as a 1, 2 into here. This would be a third wave, would get a fourth, and just have a small fifth wave, seeing as though the wave one was only small anyway. So this is still a possibility. It could actually be completed there. If it is completed there, what we'd be looking for now would actually be a deeper move to the downside, potentially to this 44.37 to this 43.11 area. If we hold this key wave 2 zone, what we could then be looking for is basically this third wave to play out. Third wave would only really get confirmation by moving up past this 5145, and then we would be looking for that confirmation again by forming another fourth wave that finds support within the correct area. So this is an interesting zone where we need to just keep a little bit of an eye on it. If we do start to get some impulsive movement up here, these waves can always be extending within the structure here. So this wave one might still be in progress. Or alternatively, we might not quite make it down to this 50%. If we don't make it down that far, but though it looks quite probable, I mean, it would be a retest of some of these lows that we've had here. So it's possible that we could see a move down like this and then look for that third wave. So key is going to be if we manage to move up past this 51.45, then we find this additional fourth and a fifth wave here. So this is going to be sort of this will be the decision time off the back of this blue move, is looking at this bigger move as a wave one here. So if we do move up into this zone here of this 53.43 to this 52.19, what we'd want to see if we want to look for continuation would be a three-wave structure back down into this zone here of this 47.23. Finding support there could then lead us to a bigger push to the upside, looking for this yellow wave 3 at 65.69. Then we'd have to see exactly where this comes in as to where we would be looking for this fourth and this fifth wave to come in. But basically, if this does move up high enough to this 80-cent range, by the time we've completed this yellow fifth wave, then we can start looking at the possibility that this has been a wave one. This would have been our wave two. Had this as a wave three, then we'll be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. So this is something we're still looking out for, looking for the possibility of coming up into this 94.53 to this 74.90. Like I said, if we start to lose this 35.06, it starts to become less likely that we are actually within this structure. So keep an eye out on that move. It's going to be important if we're looking for bullish moves here. This 42.24 is going to be key to holding this. And this 41.10, as soon as we drop below that, it would invalidate this count that we currently have. It wouldn't invalidate this fifth wave. That would only come by actually dropping down much lower here to this zone of this 26.20. But when we drop past this 35.06 range, it becomes less likely that we have this fifth wave to the upside still in play. So, okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about was the possibility of a five-wave breakdown. So I'm not seeing the structure currently within this move, but what I'm just keeping an eye out is whether we can look at this wave as a wave one to the downside, and then this potentially as a two to the upside. So we'd have to count it slightly different if we're looking at it as a wave two. Either that, or it would need to come up one more time here, and then look for this wave two to move over to this side. Either way, what we'd be looking for. So if we were to move back to the upside, we'd want to see rejection come in again towards this. I mean, we've already come up to the 786, but we really wouldn't want to go too much higher than the 08454. So really, what we'd want to see here is basically, if this is going to push back up one more time, potentially to come up back into the region here and maybe set a double top. Like I said, some key areas of rejection here. If we do move back up into this get rejection, it might be what we need to get that continuation to the downside. So keep an eye on these high points here of this, what is it, 59.95. So, like I said, we don't have the current structure here looking for this third wave off of this current move as a wave two, but there is a possibility that we could have a flat correction in here. If that is the case, we could look to actually find a rejection in this 47.77 to this 46.78. If we do form this basically as a five-wave move up, what we could then, well, if we do form a five-wave move here, and then we take this low at 42.24, that would mean that we would have had to have had a flat here. So if we do that, that would then basically indicate to me that we could be moving down towards this 41.06 to this 39.27, and that would be looking at this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So from that point, we'd have a few arguments. We can then potentially argue that within here we have a diagonal. I don't really like the structure currently, but we'll have to keep an eye on it. It would be something like this. where this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we actually get a truncation in this one here. And then that becomes another 1, 2. So if we do move down towards this 4106 to this 3927 range, what I'd be looking out for would be whether we actually have an additional fourth wave up here. And if that fourth wave is to play out from that location, what we'd be looking for would be roughly the same area as this previous fourth wave. So if we do get another move up here in a three-wave structure and it comes back into this zone that we have here for this previous fourth wave, then we could be arguing that, okay, well, maybe we've got another five-wave move here. And then, that would then lead us to that possibility of either this becoming a 1-2, 1-2, and then we look to potentially break deeper, or alternatively, like I was saying in this other option of the breakdown, we could actually just see a five-wave move down towards this 3420 zone. So keep an eye on that. That'll be an interesting one-to-one area, and that could actually take us into that area of the oh, where is it gone? That area of that support range that we were looking for that five-wave structure. I don't know where I've got it. Yeah, sorry. This 3506 range. So keep an eye on that. If we do break down here one more time in the C wave, that could be an area of interest. Okay, so I think I'm going to leave the video there. If you found it useful, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video. Leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Within the description below, you'll also find affiliate links for both BT and BYBIT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account, using the affiliate link does support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care out there.